Welcome everyone. Welcome to CSLDallas. And as you're finding your way to your seats right now, we just want to say thank you for joining us today. Whether this is your first time or you call CSL Dallas your spiritual home, we are grateful that you made it here today. And as a reminder, you can find inspirational content, information on all our upcoming courses, and ways to stay spiritually connected to your community here by visiting CSLDallas.org. We have so many great things in store for you today, so will you join me in pitting your hands together for the CSL Dallas music team?
Come together, heart and soul, as we love together. Young and old, we will sing together, together in one song. Come together, different worlds, we are drawn together. In our own way, we can pray together. Together we are strong. I see God in you. You see God in me. One path, one vision, one family. Dreams and hands we will join together to build a place we can grow together. Together we are home. I see God in you. I see God in you. You see God in me. Young and old, we will sing together, together in one song. Together we are strong. Together we are home.
Good morning, CSL Dallas, a Center for Spiritual Living. It's so great to see so many familiar faces again here in the sanctuary. And to those of you with us on the live stream at home or wherever you are, we're welcoming you here as well. And if you haven't made it back to the campus to check it out, come on back in. We're masking within this sanctuary, but when we have the opportunity to speak, we'll try to make it a little clearer. If we're comfortable removing our masks, we'll do that up here. But come with your mask if you come on campus, and please come see us soon. We are so happy to be back together in person. Let us now remember why we're here with our purpose statement. We are radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, and transforming lives. So great to be with you. Now, have you lost a loved one recently or loved ones? Are you currently in the process of grieving? If it's been at least 6 months, join us for an 8-week journey, and you'll have a sacred space where you'll find comfort, encouragement, and inspiration as you walk through your journey of grief. Honoring the passage of grief starts this Tuesday night. So this is your last chance to sign up. This is an in-person only event, and there are a few spots left. It's being facilitated by licensed practitioners Sherry Wood, Cindy Young, and Avis Ives. So there is a lot of love there. Remember to check it out online and get registered soon. Now, here's an opportunity to step into your great awakening. Consciously unify with the one presence by joining licensed practitioners Faye Abdul Salam and Carol Merlo for Practical Mysticism. Learn about your own spiritual evolution, how to become a mystic in action, and live as a soul guided by a deep and abiding love. The Practical Mysticism course is being offered both in person and online, and it starts on November 4th. In 5 short weeks, you'll awaken to the mystic within through unification with spirit, deep meditation, personal altar creation. This will reflect how you uniquely show up in the world. And tasting the mystical experience in your life and attuning to your inner vision and your creative unification with God. Sign up for Practical Mysticism online today. Now, Dr. Petra has such a creative spirit. She is reimagining meditation and metaphysics on Wednesday nights. This is one of our most popular offerings. This is an in-person only event, and it's from 7 to 8:30 here on campus in our meditation hall. And speaking of Dr. Petra, she has a few words.
Yay, thanks, Joe. Just to remind you that it starts in November, the first Wednesday in November, and then it'll be ongoing through the spring, our meditation and mysticism, meditation and metaphysics Wednesday night. So just a couple things. The first thing is, as Joe so beautifully talked about with the grief opportunity for support, so many people have been challenged over the last couple of years. So many of us have lost loved ones and have had other losses and challenges through the pandemic. I'm going to take this off, because the last time Karen had to remind me. So I asked for our practitioners and ministers to come together and provide either something written or something that they chose to help bring comfort and hope to all of us as we come to the end of this time. And so you received, as you walked in, those of you on campus, you received this little pamphlet called Comfort and Hope. All of the photographs are by Rev Karen. They are all of her wildlife photography. And everything that's in here was either chosen by minister or practitioner or written by one to give you something to hold on to as we emerge now from the pandemic. As soon as we can, we'll stop wearing masks and we will continue to unfold into this new experience. But it's important to recognize the loss and change. And so we hope that this little pamphlet will be meaningful to you. For those of you who are, it'll be given out over the next few Sundays so that when you're on campus you can get it. For those of you who are online, we are looking for a way to put it on our website by the end of the week, so you should be able to get it there at CSLDallas.org. The other thing I want to let you know is that we've had a very abrupt and unexpected change in Joy Village. Doreen Breedlove has very abruptly and unexpectedly left Joy Village. And so Brianna is working to make sure our Joy Village continues in a very wonderful way. But we are looking for a Joy Village coordinator and some volunteers that will work in Joy Village, that will be with our kids, that will be with our teens. So if you feel called to be part of our Kids and Teens program, we would love to have you. You could make you could say, I'd like to come in one time and just do something with the kids. Or you can make a once-a-month commitment, or you can make an ongoing commitment. There's lots of ways in which Joy Village can be supported. And truthfully, our kids really need you. So if you're local and available and you would like to contribute some of your time and talent to Joy Village, please let me know, or please let Brianna know, because the truth is, our kids deserve it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Petra. Hey, if I had Joy Village available in my youth, I would have sure been glad that you stepped up and helped. So I found this very late in life, and can't imagine the things that might have been different for me had I discovered it as soon as those who attend Joy Village are exposed to these principles. Now, to everyone joining us via live stream today, as you enjoy today's service from the comfort of your home, please take a moment to financially support the continuous expansion of our online presence at CSL Dallas. We are where you can attend classes, workshops, services, and other community activities right here on your personal screen. You're probably even wearing your pajamas today. Here's a few good ways to support through your donations. There is a donate button on our YouTube channel. You can always donate on Facebook. There's text giving at 972-954-4404, or visit us always at CSLDallas.org/give. Thank you so much, and now let's join our fabulous music team as together we sing, I Will Be.
Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be.
Sing that again with us this morning.
Here I am, a vessel to serve. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go.
And so I invite you in this moment to simply breathe into your beingness. Breathe into your, hello? All right, here we go. Thank you, Ryan. So let's start again. Breathing into this moment of deep beingness. You are already that beautiful expression of the one life. You showed up at the perfect time, here. And as we celebrate together this morning, those of us who are here, those of us who are watching, building in this awareness that you matter. You matter, and Spirit has need of you, or you wouldn't be here. That the inimitable, incomparable, beautiful fingerprint of the divine showing up as you is needed, is wanted, is a part of something bigger than any one of us alone. And so just feel into your spirit moving out of this physical thing called a body, wiping clean the windows of comparison or critical thinking, or thinking you've got to figure it out or take one more class is just utter ridiculousness. Let that go. Let that light shine through your windows and simply say, here I am, and she's enough, and he's enough. And shine your light and find a place to reach out your hand, your heart, your smile, and know that it is that which heals, which mends the breaks and fills the cracks and allows the vessel to be filled and overflow. That's what we're here for. And so we celebrate this morning together that we're alive and here and blessed. And so breathing in deeper in gratitude and in celebration. Here I am, here you are, and we do it together, and so it is.
Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be.
Let's sing that again, please.
Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be.
Whatever spirit.
Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Everything that I need to know about what lies before me, everything that I need to know about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me, through the mind of God within me. Everything that I need to do about what lies before me, everything that I need to do about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me, through the mind of God within me. Everything that I need to release about what lies before me, everything that I need to release about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me, through the mind of God within me. Everything that I need to accept about what lies before me, everything that I need to accept about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me, through the mind of God within me, through the mind of God within me, through the mind of God within me.
We're back. Welcome back to the 2022 vision, painting a new picture. I'm Cindy Young, and this is my co-chair, Daniel Jackson. Jackson, did I say that right? Jackson?
Yeah, it kind of runs together.
Yeah, tongue-tied this morning. And on behalf of the ministers, the staff, and the AIS committee, we just want to invite you into this vision that we've been talking about all month. We're nearing the conclusion of the campaign this month. It runs the month of October. And if you were here last week, you got to experience reverse tithing, which was quite cool. We also painted a picture together as a community, which will be revealed later this month. So we're very excited about the unveiling of that picture, and I think everybody had a great time. And I'd like to just thank everybody that came out and supported us in setting that up, the committee, staff, as well as community members helping us set it up and take it down. It was a really successful event, and I think everyone had a really lovely time. Perfect weather for it as well.
Yeah, it was a perfect day. Thank you, Cindy. And, you know, here at CSLDallas, we're always planning ahead. So we've been working on 2022 priorities since midsummer and planning for the financial health of our center. We've been praying for individuals every week as part of our AIS campaign. Every individual connected with CSL Dallas, we're praying for your prosperity and your abundance.
Stay with the mic.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And making sure that everyone leads the life of abundance that they're here to experience. But as part of that, it's time now for us to do our part. And we do that by making a pledge to CSL Dallas for the 2022 year.
And when you pledge, we use that amount to set our budget for the next year.
Yeah.
When we only do this once a year, and allows us to plan for all the programs, the classes we offer, the services we offer, the events we offer. Everything comes together really nicely, but we're able to plan that out, and we never spend more than we bring in. So this is a really important aspect for us to continue to offer the services that we have to really, make our commitment to supporting the community and unfolding its vision for 2022.
Yeah, and if you're a guest or visiting us for the first time today, welcome. We're so happy to have you here. Our pledge campaign drive isn't directed toward you, but if you are inspired to give, we would certainly appreciate your pledge as well. Each Sunday, we have been sharing the 2022 priorities with you, and we've had great messages on the abundance consciousness and the prosperity consciousness that we're trying to build for CSL Dallas, and are building it and expanding it. But the goal I want to talk about for 2022 this week is our reactivating the young adult program here at CSL Dallas. We want an adult program that develops a sustainable and thriving program for our young adults, that reimagines a spiritual and scientific container, not religious container, but a spiritual and scientific container for young adults to participate in, that addresses the current events, the individual needs, and the social justice issues that so many of our young adults are concerned with today, inspired with, and would like to talk about. The idea is to empower our young adults to use science of mind and the principles that we teach here at the center to significantly impact their own lives and to change the world. We are painting a new picture as we reimagine our young adult program here at CSL Dallas.
So I just wanted to take a moment to share a little bit of my experience with painting a new picture here since I've been here at CSL Dallas. When I first came to CSL Dallas, I had been in a job for about 15 years. I'd had quite a bit of success there, but the last couple of years had been pretty miserable, and I was really suffering from, a lot of mental wear and tear, so to speak, and I was really done with it. And so while I was in Foundations, I prayed for a new job. I was just learning, and so all I did was pray for a new job. And that's what showed up, a new job. It showed up pretty quick. I saw on LinkedIn somebody that used to work at the company I was at post that they were at Expedia, and I said, hey, what do you think about Expedia? He says, hey, I got a manager job coming open. Would you be interested in it? I said, yes, and next thing you know, I had a new job. Here, the problem was I wasn't very specific about the new job. It was a lot less money. It was a lot less responsibility, which probably I could use at the time. But the reality is when I walked in the door, I had a team I didn't like very much. They didn't do the kind of work that I thought they did, and I didn't like it at all. But I was committed for a year because there was financial ramifications if I were to leave. So I just sucked it up, and I kept going to my classes here and kept, trying to evolve myself. And then as I was nearing the end of the first year, I decided I'm just going to, do something more. I learned that I needed to be more specific about what I wanted. So I went and I created a prayer around what I wanted to experience. I wanted to travel. I wanted a global team. I wanted more responsibility. I wanted career growth. I wanted people that I liked working with. And the manager that I worked for at the time, I couldn't stand him, actually. And lo and behold, he got fired. Not that I was really intending that to happen, just to be clear, but the universe works in mysterious ways, right? So he left, and I got a new manager, and the first thing he did was send me to Prague to work for a month while they tried to hire somebody over there. So that was the beginning of me evolving my team into a global team. And everybody that worked for me that I didn't like disappeared, and it was replaced with the people that were in alignment with what my intention was. And today I manage a team of 150 people all over the world, and they are an amazing team, and there's not a single day that goes by that I do not have a great time. And if things don't go the way I need, I reinvent it. If there is something not working, I reinvent that. And it has been an amazing journey for me to paint a new picture. And that's the reason that I give of my time, of my service, and of my money to this place, because CSLDallas has taught me so much and allowed me to bring forth so much richness in my life, so much joy in my life, so much amazing experiences in my life. And I just want that to be present for anyone else that seeks to have the same thing that I do. And I want to turn this over to Daniel.
Thank you very much, Cindy. That was beautiful. And I was going to talk about something, about abundance and prosperity today. I have a new car. I have another new house that I wasn't expecting, but I got into this relationship, and so the house that I had treated for before became no longer the house that I needed. I needed a house that I could share with my partner. And so we treated for that early this year, and within a week we were able to find the house that we wanted and buy that together. But what I was reminded of when I heard about the grief program that we have that we're starting, when I heard about the focus on youth today as our priority for 2022, I was reminded just how much Centers for Spiritual Living mean to me. In 2013, I lost my wife to suicide, and my son was going to be a sophomore in high school. My life was shattered. It was a tragic experience. And CSL, Centers for Spiritual Living, is really how I got through it. It's how I was able to heal, to talk to others about the grieving process, to feed my soul with new energy, with new life, because my life was starting over again in so many ways. And the strength that I was able to get from Centers for Spiritual Living got me through it, but also opened so many new doors to me that hadn't been opened before, because I had been closed down in that rather dysfunctional and unhealthy relationship. And so as I have opened up, I have experienced so much of life that I never did before. It was, whether it's being in nature and being alone and being able to go inside and being in the presence and understanding that life is coming from me as Spirit works through me, rather than it's out here, I need to go grab this or grab this or grab this that's going to make me feel better for 10 minutes, and then I'm on to the next thing. So I have a deeper connection with Spirit today, and the youth programs got my son through it and made this tremendous young man that he is today. And with none of the baggage that you would expect from somebody who went through what he's gone through. He has, sees life as the beautiful spiritual journey that it is, and that's because of Centers for Spiritual Living. When I moved here 4 years ago to, kind of kickstart my new life, I ended up here at CSLDallas that first week, and I haven't left. It's my home, and it means so much to me. So that's why I tithe to CSLDallas. That's why I give, because this is where I'm spiritually fed and where I have become the stronger, more loving, more lovable man that I am today because of CSL Dallas. So thank you for that.
Well, I certainly have loved working with you on this. We've had a great time together, that's for sure. So we're ready to reaffirm our number goals for the 2022 vision, painting a new picture. So the first number we're going to affirm is the number of pledgers for 2022, 198 pledgers. So let's say that together.
198 pledgers and more.
Let's say it one more time, because I just wasn't feeling that.
Yeah.
Okay. 198 pledgers and more.
And our second number we're affirming is our financial number for 2022, and that number is $895,000 and more. And let's say that one more time. $895,000 and more. And so it is.
And so it is. No matter how small, every pledge counts. And so, please go online to CSLDallas.org/pledge if you want to pledge online, or fill out a pledge card. Come by the AIS table out back, and
we really appreciate your support. We'll be passing out pledge cards later. Today is Pledge Card Sunday, so if you haven't filled out your card yet, please do so today. This really helps us set the budget and the intention for CSL Dallas for 2022. Thank you very much. Good catch.
Good morning, CSL.
Good morning.
For those of you who don't recognize me with my glasses on, I'm Cleo. And I'll be singing That Good Thing. Oh, gosh. You've got to be the light if you want to see the light. You've got to be the light if you want to see the light. Because you reap what you sow, you meet what you know, and you be what you believe. Give a little bit of that good thing if you want to receive. You've got to be the love if you want to see the love. You've got to be the love if you want to see the love. Because you reap what you sow, you meet what you know, when you see what you believe. Give a little bit of that good thing if you want to receive. Yeah, give a little bit of that good thing if you want to receive. Don't tell me that your life is a desert. Somebody's gotta quench your thirst. You can dance, you can pray for the water, but you gotta get your head straight back. You've got to be the light if you want to see the light. You've got to be the light if you want to see the light. Because you reap what you sow, you meet what you know, and you see what you believe. Give a little bit of that good thing if you want to receive. Yeah, give a little bit of that good thing if you want to receive. Give a little bit of that good thing, babe. Yeah. You gotta give a little bit of that good thing. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. You gotta give a little, you gotta give a little, you gotta give a little, 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 little bit.
And the band. I was about to say that. I'm trying to get this frog out of my throat. Ooh, that was great. Got to give a little that good thing, right? Yes, yes. Good morning. Wow. All right. Well, all month we've been talking about painting a new picture, and all month we've been talking about prosperity principles, spiritual principles, universal laws that work in our life, both for the individual and collective perspective. So this morning I'm gonna share with you how to guarantee your prosperity. Would you like to guarantee that? Like 100% guarantee? Yeah, and we've been talking about what is this thing called prosperity. I really invite each and every one of you to come up with your own definition. I don't know, most of y'all, in fact, pretty much all of you, got an email this past week, and we gave a gift. It was a reprise of Edwin Gaines' talk. She is just a hoot, okay? And if you didn't get that email or you didn't watch it, go back. I invite you. I did that yesterday. It's called Permanent Prosperity, Edwin Gaines, on our YouTube channel. You want to check that out. And she talks about her definition of prosperity. And it's a good one. I've modified it just a couple of words, but it's basically when each of us are vitally aligned and we're vibrant and we're strong and we're healthy in our bodies and our lives. Yes? Whew, that's so important. That we're in relationships, all different types of relationships that bring us joy and peace and happiness. Yes? Yeah, I like that one. And that we're each doing the work that we love so much it feels like it's child's play. Yes? Okay. And then all the money we care to spend and give away. Yes? Okay. Well, I like that definition. And so what are the activities, what are the practices that we could each do to guarantee that we live a prosperous life? And it's really about, as we completely align ourselves with the way that life itself truly is, when we're in alignment with the way that life itself truly is, well, we're guaranteed to have that kind of experience that life itself has all the time. Which, if you think about it, life itself, the universal presence, the all in all and be all, that's pretty cool to think about that. Yes? I don't know why I'm on the yeses this morning, but yes. And Ernest Holmes tells us that life is the eternal givingness. Like, it's eternal. It doesn't stop. It's the offering of the cosmic self to the joy of its own fulfillment. I just love that. This cosmic self to the joy, it just offers itself to itself all the time. It's like, here I am. Take this. This is me. And you and I, he says, are part of this joy, and we each find fulfillment only as this joy passes through us to others. And he also says, which is significantly important, is everything moves in circles, right? It's the circle of life. For all you Lion King fans, you know, everything, or Emerson fans, everything moves in circles. And he says, we short circuit our own good when we refuse to pass it on. That's why I came up with this be love, pass it on, right? We've got to be it, and we've got to pass it on. And this givingness, this eternal giving, if we think about life itself, giving is not just about money. It's not. It is a process that may involve money, but it also involves our work and where we're in service, whether we get paid for it or not, and in many ways in which we each make contact with life, right? And in this book that I keep pulling from, which I will again today, Spiritual Economics by Eric Butterworth, he says that giving is basically an attitude in which we each touch things. How are we each touching things in our lives? I just love that. Reach out and touch someone. Reach out and touch something. Reach out and touch some situation, some circumstance. How are we touching things? because that's giving. Ernest Holmes, our founder of Science Mind, also says we should give of ourselves in love and in service to others, in the spirit of generosity. So it's also about the spirit in which we give, not out of obligation, not out of, well, I ought to do this. It's the spirit. And to refuse to give is to refuse to receive. Again, back to the circle of life. So if I refuse to give, then I'm already saying I refuse to receive anything. For again, everything moves in circles. So real giving is the givingness of the self. When we give, we're just giving the self, ourself, this individualized self, which is actually expression of the whole self, of life itself, doing its thing because it eternally gives to itself unabashedly all the time. And we can do this, kind words, thoughtful acts, perhaps a smile. We don't know, as we give of ourselves to someone, how that might save a life, touch a life, transform a life, give to a life in a way we may never know. But that giving of ourselves in all the various ways we can does have impact and does transform. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone? Let's say you're trying to get someone excited about a project. You really have a great idea about this project and you want to do it. And you're talking about it and you're wanting to engage this person in the yes, right? And get excited. And have you ever heard the, yeah, but what's in it for me? Yeah, I see a few heads. I know you're shaking it at home too. This what's in it for me. Many people come from that place. It's the, well, what's in it for me? Now, a lot of us don't come from that place. It's not like, well, how can I give more to my job, my relationships, my friends, all of that. But other people will say, yeah, but how do I get mine? So that brings us to there really sort of are two types of people. They're the givers and the takers. Do you know some givers in your life? Good. Participation everywhere is wanted. Anybody know the takers in their life? Yeah. The takers are the people who believe that their lives will always be the total of what they can get from the world. And they pretty much think in the terms of get. What can I get? Now, just as sort of Daniel was sharing, it's like, but no matter what they take, they can never know the peace or the security or the fulfillment. But on the other hand, as he was sharing, the givers, on the other hand, the people that know that life itself is truly a giving process, then what happens is, as we are the givers in life, we are secure. Because we know intuitively that life flows always from within. Always from within. And so how can I choose to invest myself in the next thing, in the next situation, the next person, the next smile, whatever it is? How can I invest myself? Because as I invest myself, I'm investing it for the all of life itself. And all of life benefits. Now, Eric Butterworth has some good stuff in this book, I'm telling you. You definitely want to get your copy, and if you already have one, pull it out, dust it off, read it again. I keep inviting everybody to do that this month because I'm also teaching this class, and it's really profound. And he says, now, I'm going to pull a couple of biblical phrases today, but there is such sacred wisdom in our sacred texts that we can pull from. And there's one particular phrase in the Christian religion that's touted a lot. But I'm gonna put it in a different perspective. Some of you might recognize this particular phrase. It's from John 3:16. So he says that the most important aspect of John 3:16 is, "For God so loved the world that he gave." Period. Just end it right there. For God so loved the world that he or she gave, right? It gave. So God is this divine givingness of the universe, and you are created in the image likeness of this divine givingness. You cannot make any sense out of life or realize the free flow of substance in your experience until you begin to see yourself as a giver. It may mean a complete turnaround in your approach to life where you think give instead of get. In your spiritual quest, you're seeking to establish yourself in an intuitive relationship with the divine flow. That is the goal of our life, right? You can never really achieve this level of consciousness until giving becomes the main thrust of your life. And when it does, when you discover the wonder of giving, you become unblushingly, I love this, an incurable giver. Meditate long on this point, he says, for it is one of the most important keys of the prosperity law. So again, God, Spirit, the universal presence is this divine givingness of the universe. It does unabashedly give to itself. Think of it. The song of the bird just gives it away. Just sings it all the time. Right? The bodies of water just gives itself to everything that it touches. Trees just gives of its all of its properties, its shade, its everything, food for many animals. Just just think of the trees. It just gives and it gives and it gives. The flowers gives of its fragrance, of its beauty. So all of life expresses itself in this giving. There's one more thing that I wanted to share from the book this morning that Butterworth gives us. And he says, if you discover the wonder of giving, you will find a great blessing of inner fulfillment in your work, which will lead to better work, and by the law of causation, to a greater experience of affluence, which may come through your job or through many different channels. The law is exact. So here's the circle again. If you give, really work in a giving consciousness, you must receive. If you at this point still ask the question, what's in it for me, then you are being grossly underpaid. I heard it in the room. Even if your salary is 6 figures, if all you get out of your work is a paycheck, you are shortchanging yourself. If all I get out of my work is a paycheck, boy, have I shortchanged myself, and boy, have I shortchanged everybody I know that's attached to this community. So it's the law of circulation, this giving and receiving. And we are to let this law of circulation play in our life. So you want to guarantee prosperity, become a committed giver. A committed giver is an incurably happy person, a secure person, a satisfied person, and a prosperous person. Okay, and then I'm going to talk about something else. I want to talk about bicycle riding. Anybody ever ride a bike in their life? Okay, what are the rest of y'all doing? I want you to think back to possibly how you started riding a bike or help a child or a grandchild or something. Bicycle riding is based on the law of balance, working with the law of inertia, okay? So we've got the law of balance and inertia. And most of us, I know I did, started with training wheels. Do you remember training wheels? They still sell them in stores. Imagine that. They're these training wheels. But the training wheels have nothing to do with the laws by which the bicycle is propelled. It's simply to help the writer experience the working of the law and to experience the joy of riding a bike. Okay? Anybody still ride a bike? Participation's welcome all everywhere. Okay. Is there anybody here that still has their training wheels on their bike? What's wrong with y'all? Right? Me neither, okay? Not on that nice Cannondale. No training wheels on it. So I want to talk about sacred giving. There is another word for that, but I just don't use it much because I know we've had so many people that just like, ugh, and then actually lose out on the benefit of this practice. It's called tithing. I said it. But sacred giving of a level at 10%. Okay? It's actually training wheels. Many people think that it's the end result, like that's where I end up. When I reach that, man, I've reached it all. It's actually intended to be training wheels, so it's not an end, but a helpful means towards the end of living in total giving consciousness. So it's a training wheel. It's a process that one can start themselves in on this giving way to this divine flow. So it's a way in which we can each get into this giving consciousness. But I want to say it's not in substitute for the giving attitude. So it's giving and the attitude in which we give it. Again, it's not like, well, I have to give it. Just don't. Don't do it. Just don't even start. It's the attitude in which we do it. So you ever hear about people wanting to start to learn how to do meditation? Usually say, well, start with 20 minutes. 15, 20 minutes, that's a great place to start. Start there. Start at 20 minutes. How about working out at the gym and getting one's body in shape? Well, start with 20 to 30 minutes of cardio. Just, start. And I have to say, especially after this recent bout with COVID that I got, I don't think I'm going to start with 20 minutes when I get back on that bike. I'm going to start where I can, right? But I'm going to start, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be 20 minutes meditation, but that's sort of the training wheels that we start with. It doesn't necessarily have to be 30 minutes cardio when you really want to get your body in shape, but that's where you start with. But we start where we can. But remember, it's a starting point. But I don't tend to just stay at 20 minutes of meditation. I want to grow my meditation practice. I don't just, work out cardio for 20 minutes for the rest of my life or weightlifting for the rest of my life. I want to grow in that. This is the truth of this sacred giving of 10%. That's why it's talked about, because it has such great effects in our lives, through our lives, within our lives, and for our lives. I want to tell you about this guy that I knew several years ago in my prior spiritual community when I was teaching a prosperity class, and I was talking about this topic of sacred giving of 10%. He took a leap of faith. He had never done it before, and because of that, he decided, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start giving away 10% of what comes into me. And I knew him over a few years, and I watched how his life dramatically changed. And he would say, oh my gosh, this is really incredible. I got new jobs and opportunities. I got the house of my dream for my family. Everything was going. And then at some point, I don't know what caused it, but at some point, some income went down. Okay, went down after, a larger mortgage and all that. And I'll never forget this. He told me, he said, "Ann, I've got to pull back on my giving to where I'm spiritually fed." And I immediately thought, oh no. And I even said, don't do that. You can't not afford to do that. And it wasn't, but very short time, it just got worse and worse and worse. And I had a prior career before being a minister, a spiritual leader, and that was in executive sales, which never had a ceiling on what I could earn. There was never a cap. It was just like, psh, as much as I intended and wanted to, I did. And when I came here in Dallas, something after 23 years happened. I became a salaried employee. Or, I became salaried here. And I remember that I thought, oh my gosh, how is this going to work out? Because it was a third of what I was used to making. And I'm like, how is this going to work out? And I almost fell into the trap, into that hole, that same hole. And I went, oh, no. I have to keep my sacred giving and grow it even more. And so I did when I got here. And a couple of years into here, as most of you know, when Peter and I fell in love and we became a committed couple and got married here, well, she's a sacred giver of at least 10%. I'm a sacred giver of at least 10%. And now we're together combined. And we give almost 20% of what comes in away. And I have never felt more prosperous in my life. I go on trips, get to do things I've always dreamed of, and even paid cash for our cabin in the woods because we grew in this, right? It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So I'm going to bring one more because this one is talked a lot, and I want to try to explain it just a little bit from our perspective. Another biblical verse that's mentioned a lot is Malachi 3:10. And I pulled out the New International Version. There's so many different versions of this, but I like this one. It says, bring the whole tithe, bring this sacred giving into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. And it says, test me on this. So the universal presence is saying, test me. Put it to a test. And see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much of a blessing that there will not be enough room to store it in your life. Now, in the King James Version, it says, prove me now. In this version, it says, right? It says, test me in this. So the way that this works is like the storehouse is where the food is kept, right? And so where are we each fed spiritually? Where are we spiritually fed? That's what it means, to give our gift where we're spiritually fed. And that causes us to remember who we are. It's that leap of faith, that it's that I know that I have more than enough. It's sort of like at the table. Have you ever been at the table at with 9 people and you start looking around and you go, how am I going to get my turkey tonight? There's a lot of us and not enough turkey. What starts happening? I better get mine first. It's Thanksgiving. What about there aren't enough biscuits on the table? How am I going to get my biscuit? I better get mine first. What if it's like there's more than enough? And I give you my biscuit. Something really spectacular is going to happen. We do that every time we have an event here and we look around and go, there's not enough food. There ends up being so much more than enough. I press upon this each year because this is the most significant thing to guarantee prosperity in our life. I'm living proof of it, and many people are. So I want to invite someone up to also share, because one day she heard Edwin Gaines, or I don't know, she's going to share what happened. But I invite Kia Tillman up to share something with each of you. Hi, Kia. Here's a microphone. Oh, you want to stand there? That's cool. Yeah, that's good. Podium is good.
Hi,
Say hi to Kia.
Hi, I'm Kia Tillman, and I stood up on this platform a few years ago and said that I had started tithing, and it was because of that talk that Edwin Gaines gave and I listened to. And since then, my life has been perfect. I live happily ever after in the end. No, that is not what happened. That was not my experience. But what did happen is that no matter what circumstances were put in front of me, I had a community to support me, and I had the tools and the knowledge to handle it successfully. So back in December when I was doing a routine health check and came back. I found out that I had not only high blood pressure, but also high blood sugar. And my old story would have sent me into a spiral of shame. How could I let this happen? What did I do wrong? Why do I deserve this? But when I got those results, my only response was, I need to do something about this. And I took action. And everything around me fell into place that I needed to make the changes in my life that could help me with this. So I found a perfect doctor, I found a perfect trainer, I found a perfect health coach. Even a low-cost gym opened up 5 minutes away from where I live. So all of these things just fell into place, and within a few months, all of my test results were back to normal. And last year, I entered into a relationship with a partner who I thought was going to be my forever partner. We were very much in love, and things were going great, and things just didn't work out. And old me would have just been, see, I'm not good enough. I would have slipped back into that old story. But new me still has a good relationship with him. New me still has a friendship with him. New me knows that dating is fun. And I'm exploring all the possibilities out there. And if you know anybody, just let me know. And I know that I'm enough because this is the place where I learned that I am whole, perfect, and complete. And there is nothing that I need to do to change that. And last year, a really dear friend of mine, somebody that I've been friends with for 25 years, somebody I considered a dear mentor of mine, passed away. And this community was right here to support me through that. And I learned here that good must come of this. And I never asked her for anything, but she was so kind to leave me in her will. And she left me a very substantial gift. And the very first thing I did with that money was tithe back to this community, because this is a community where I'm spiritually fed. And a few years ago, I said that CSLDallas reminds me of that old adage, if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day, but if you teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. And CSLDallas is where I am learning to become a master fisherwoman. And I give because I want everybody to learn the things that I've learned, to be able to master this life so easily, full of ease and grace like I am. And that's why I give. Thank you.
So I'm going to end on this last quote from Ernest Holmes that I really like so much. Real giving is the art of transmitting ourselves to others and to the conditions and situations that surround us. This kind of giving is not something for special occasions only, for it should become a habit growing out of our desire to live life to the fullest extent. Only that which becomes an inward habit of thought can spontaneously flow from the heart and transmit itself to everything we touch. Just as life belongs to the one who lives it, to the one who takes it, so the fuller life belongs only to the one who scatters every good one has. Want to guarantee prosperity? Let's scatter ourselves everywhere and leave our mark, because life itself does everywhere it goes.
So as Daniel and Cindy said, this is our opportunity for Pledge Sunday. And it's always an interesting thing, right? Many of you come from other spiritual traditions. Perhaps you come from other spiritual communities, and there's always this suspicion that churches talk about prosperity so that you'll give us money. And I want to make a distinction because, no, we talk about pledging so that you'll give us money. We talk about prosperity principles because it's one of the laws of the universe, and it's one of the ways in which we support you and empower all of us to have a greater life. It is because we are able to give that we are able to actually create a world that works for everyone, not just lives that work for ourselves. And yet the other side of that coin is that we are supporting each other's spiritual growth with what it is that we give to this spiritual community. So your pledge is what you promise to give to CSLDallas. Your tithe is your commitment to your spiritual practice of sacred giving. We hope that you are spiritually fed here at CSLDallas, that you will choose to tithe here. That is your choice. And that is your sacred giving. That's your sacred giving practice. What we do ask you to do is pledge, because the pledges are what allows us, as Cindy said earlier so beautifully, to continue doing what we do, providing opportunities like Daniel and Cindy and Kia have shared with us today, and the other testimonials that you've received. So the pledge cards are being passed out. Because one of the things that we hear at the end of the pledge program is people that are very committed to this community, and they're like, I left it at home on the kitchen table. I didn't do it. I forgot. So this is, and as Daniel said, if you're brand new, if you're a visitor, you're really new to this community, you're new to us online, of course this isn't for you. This is for people who consider CSLDallas their spiritual home and the place that they're spiritually fed. If that's true for you, then we invite you to join us. Every pledge counts. Now, while the pledge cards are being passed out here, for those of you online, I invite you right now to go onto your browser and to go to CSLDallas.org/pledge. And that's going to bring up our online pledge card so that you can participate in this opportunity for sacred giving right now. So go ahead and go to CSLDallas.org/pledge while we have physical pledge cards in the room. Now, before you begin filling out your pledge card, and while your pledge card is loading online, I'm going to invite you just to take a moment to just close your eyes. Just for a moment. I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to reflect on something that you have received from CSLDallas in your spiritual journey. One insight that you got in a class. One spiritual mind treatment that you got from a practitioner. One hug that you got at the door. One celebration that you received while we were online together about something that TSRW in your life. One time someone virtually with a card or with a hand lifted you up. Maybe you were like me and you cried when you first found CSLDallas. Or you found metaphysical teachings. When you felt like you belonged. Or your life mattered. And now I want you to imagine all the people that are sitting in this room. All the people that are online listening to us today, being with us right here, or who will tune in throughout the week. All our kids in Joy Village. You don't pledge to an organization. We're simply the stewards of the money you give us. You pledge to each other. So if you have received any of those things from CSLDallas, or you would like to make certain that any of those things are available tomorrow for the next new person that walks through the doors, I'm going to invite you now to fill out your pledge card. If you are here in the sanctuary, to fill it out right now so that you can drop it in the basket. If you're online, to fill out that pledge card. Every pledge counts. No matter how big or small, every pledge makes a difference. Your promise to give to this community, we promise back to be the best stewards that we know how to be, so that you and we as a community together serve each other truthfully, so we can serve the world. We seek to put our own masks on, our oxygen masks on first, not because we're better, not because it's all about us, but because when we have our own oxygen masks on, it makes it possible for us to turn to our neighbor who may be struggling with theirs and help them put their oxygen mask on. Maybe we'll help invent a whole new way for people to find oxygen masks. Maybe we'll lift the world in such a way that oxygen masks are no longer needed. So here at CSLDallas, we learn to put our oxygen mask on first so that we can give our gift to the world. And so as you are completing your pledge card, know that your promise makes a difference. Your pledge makes a difference. And know that we know that as you maintain that pledge and are committed to your sacred giving, that your life unfolds, and truly in miraculous ways, supported, fulfilled, and with a greater contribution to be able to be made in every way. As Kia said, does that mean you'll live happily ever after? Probably not. But we'll walk through the barriers and over the boulders and through the valleys, and together we'll share the peaks with joy. And CSLDallas will always be here. Thank you.
I'd like to ask the ushers to bring the baskets forward, please. Thank you so much. So it is the Center for Spiritual Living that we're supporting today. This is not the center for a couple of hours on a Sunday. Everybody hopes to advance their engagement with life as a fully orbed spiritual being engaged in every part of life. So that is what you're supporting with your gifts today. And we do have some music, I think, as we pass the baskets. Or are we going on with announcements? Going on with announcements. Please, let's pass the baskets and we will wrap it up today. A couple things we wanted to make sure you knew before we got out today. There's another great class coming up taught by Dr. Petra. It is Spiritual Principles and Practices. It starts on November 1st, and it's a 5-week class. It's an essential foundational course based on the principles and practices of science of mind. In this online course, you will discover proven practices that bring spiritual principles into action, allowing you to manifest desired goals and intentions. Identify your personal life principle. Set a desired intention or your goals. Practice different spiritual methods for manifesting the life that you desire. Learn to harness the power of divine creative process and change your life forever, as many times as you want. Now, also, all of this month in our art gallery in Pankey Hall, just across the breezeway here on campus, you can see gorgeous works by Bill and George Holman. Today, right after the Sunday celebration, please visit the art gallery and check out the amazing work. Bill Holman is donating proceeds from all purchases we make to CSL Dallas, in keeping with this program today. You won't believe his woodworking craft. He represents some beautiful African and Egyptian artwork as well. And George has donated a beautiful work of art for our center here as well. So show your appreciation, please, by visiting the art gallery today. And we also have a new beautiful space here on campus where you can obtain affirmative prayer with our licensed spiritual coaches. Right across the breezeway, check out this beautiful new space and receive your in-person affirmative prayer with one of our practitioners. And if you are online, you can still get a one-on-one affirmative prayer session with our licensed spiritual coaches in a private Zoom room. Look for the link online on your screen. And now, let us sing this celebration out together with I Release.
I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my